A moment with your friend. I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast called Gerard. Brooklyn Dre. My man J Rob is in the building. How y'all doing?
What up?
Just me is off tonight, y'all. So we got a couple stories to cover. Black court officer defends a black man from getting arrested by aggressive white cop. Also, we're going to discuss a recent story of PNB's murder suspect. Two of them are actually in custody. One is on the run. And Ray Allen don't play this fart game, man. He's not playing the pranking and all the stuff the kids doing today. But we're going to get into that in a second. But first off, we're going to discuss this black court officer who was actually defending another black man from an aggressive officer after a trial for a loved one's murderer. He was actually... who was 17 at the time when he fired the gun. He was charged with manslaughter with a deadly weapon. And that's reported by the Miami Herald. So at the trial, basically, he's not getting the time that the family think he deserves for the killing of Gigi. Seems like he was only getting like a year. And then he had to do like a speaking engagement, different schools, tell the children what it was like about him pulling his trigger, the mistake that he made. And at the time, I take in consideration he was 17. It was at a house party. And he said that the gun just went off and killed a young lady. Gigi, of course, is the sister of Betty Idol, who was a star on Love and Hip Hop, as well as Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, as well as the Cartel Crew. During this time, of course, family is at high emotions and all that stuff, as anybody would be at that time. And again, you know, the details of it, we'll leave a link in the description to let you check it out for yourself. We're going to go into the video and we're going to show what happened after the verdict was read. And that way we can go ahead and chop it up from there. So here we go. I just want to say this is actually by way of Rashad Richey's show, Indisputable, with Dr. Rashad Richey. Here we go.
Another cop from brutalizing a human being. Finally, it has happened. We have it on video. Here it is.
You better grab my neck. Okay, you better grab my neck. I got it. Now you grab my neck. Are we going to go?
You can see with the court officer, he was kind of good on the way out, coming on the way out.
Yeah, you can see
Let him, yo. Let it go. You saw that. He gotta get
the Idol
See, sis jumped in there too. Black suit on.
Everybody saw that. Yes, because you and it's on camera.
Humanity. I'm going to give you the background to why that cop saved that young black male. This was inside of a courthouse, Miami-Dade Circuit. Grieving family was livid that a 20-year-old man who confessed to shooting a 17-year-old child was going to get away with it. According to the narrative, the 20-year-old accidentally shot the 17-year-old family member. He will only receive weeks in jail. He was previously facing 30 years. In Miami-Dade Circuit Court, Michael McGowan was sentenced to several weeks of jail time, followed by boot camp.
So my correction, several weeks. I thought the story originally said about a year or so, but several weeks. But either way, that's something special, man. Like to get several weeks from manslaughter, unless the kid had like an impeccable background. That
even then, it don't really. That's not what normally happens.
That's not what normally happens, and I'm like, what? Either I don't know. How can you gauge that? Is the lawyer just a beast, or like what is?
The family might got money.
I don't know, man. It could be a rare situation, man. I've seen some situations with manslaughter where it's like, I don't know. Well, it actually they're saying he got charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, I mean, he said it was an accident, but still, I mean, just to get weeks. But let's go back in it. I mean, weeks of jail time followed by boot camp after
pleading guilty to accidentally shooting the kid, whose name was Gisselle Rengifo. Now, when that family realized there would be no justice for this 17-year-old, there was an emotional response. That's human. I get that. They were ordered out of the courtroom, and one officer wanted to physically escalate, arrest, or whatever else. But there was a good guy with heart and a uniform.
Brother got choked up.
You don't see that. And I got to say this, brother, you touched me, because I know that you're not popular right now with the rest of your colleagues. I know you have offended likely your own supervisor, but I guarantee you this, you made your mama proud.
Wow.
Yeah, that's deep, man.
That's deep. That's deep. Applaud that.
But going back to what we said before, I think what they said is he copped out to an accidental murder.
I don't know.
That's what it said. He pled guilty to accidental murder.
I thought they said manslaughter.
No, he got charged with manslaughter, but they said he pled guilty to an accidental murder. If he pled guilty to an accidental murder, that's a totally different ballgame. I don't know what was the issue, what went down, but
well, according to the story, it was an accidental shooting. It was at a house party, and I guess he had the gun, and as kids do with guns, they play around. He said it went off and struck her in the head, and it killed her. But I don't know, man. It's just because the justice system that we used to, it doesn't necessarily always look at it in that light. Well, you kill somebody, you're a good kid, you do a few weeks in jail and do some speaking engagement.
Yeah, that rarely happens. I think the bigger thing is that we don't have firearm knowledge. Where in our communities they treat guns and firearms like it's such a bad thing. So when kids do have an opportunity to handle a pistol or whatever, they don't know what to do with it. Yeah. If they actually were taught how to use it, that it's not a toy, not something to be played with for real, then maybe it wouldn't be so many, or maybe it wouldn't be any accidents.
In the midst of us having this conversation, there was 2 school shootings. Y'all know that within the last couple of hours of each other today, as of today.
Right.
We had the incident in Philadelphia where, a football team got shot at, and now one 14-year-old is unfortunately dead. And then as we're talking, it just popped up that it was a school shooting in California, and I think it was 6 injured in that one as of today. So
yeah, but those kids ain't playing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I mean, if you've seen the footage of the Philadelphia one, I mean, we also had one too out in Delaware. It was a shooting at a football game.
Right.
Yeah, they bust a few shots out there, and it's like, what in the world? These kids get these guns. They, like you said, J-Rob, they have no knowledge of firearm training, which none of it makes sense for a kid to have anyway. But if they knew, the ramifications of shooting that gun and what it does on so many different levels.
As far as the school shootings and what happened and recently in the news, them kids, they knew what they was doing. That's not an accident.
No, not an accident at all.
Yeah, they were quite aware that they were going out there to hurt somebody. I'm just talking about like things that we say there are supposed accidents. If I believe if the children knew how to handle a firearm, that it wouldn't be that accident. You can't claim an accident if you know what you're doing. Like most children don't know. You don't handle a pistol with the trigger. You don't put your finger on the trigger because it's gonna go off.
Right.
But because they play with toy guns, they pick up a gun and the first thing they do is grab the trigger. And then boom, somebody shot.
You know what though? I think they know, but they don't know. Like I think some of them know, but they don't know. I think some of them are in a situation where when they grab the gun, they go out, they know what the gun can do. I don't believe in most cases, like you just said, I think, like you just said, most of them ain't never really actually went to a range and shot a firearm. So they don't know the damage that it actually does. So I think when they go out there, they say, well, I think I'm gonna harm somebody, or I want to harm somebody, but they don't know what damage that firearm can actually do until it actually hits somebody. You know what I mean? I think in that sense, I think it's like a video game to them. Like mentally, like they don't really know the repercussions of what they're doing. Not to mention, I think a lot of them go out there with the intentions that they're going to pull the gun out, and everybody's going to. The person that they're pulling it out on is going to get nervous and back up. But that's the bad part about the street, especially the streets, is that you might meet somebody that just ain't hearing it. Now you got to prove to everybody around you that you are who you say you are. You know what I mean? And that's where, your ego and everything comes into play, and you got to do something that you really don't want to do. You know what I mean? And
I know it wasn't like the intended conversation when we was kind of focusing on the black court officer helping the
that brother's special, man.
Yeah. And I mean,
shout out to him.
Shout out to him, definitely. And it wasn't really the intended conversation, but just to bring some things into context, when you look at this particular case, what is the message that this case, do y'all think? And I would just spitballing this in my head. What is the message do you think that this brings to any other kid who has a so-called accidental shooting or anything like that? If this kid only got weeks in jail and boot camp and speaking engagements, what do you think?
Again, the case is, we don't know the case. You know what I mean? So I don't want to, throw the kid under the bus. I'm not. Listen, it's a sticky situation. Like you and I both have something that we know about that was said to be an accidental situation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So again, we don't know. But on the same token, the question is, do you want a child to go to jail that did something actually accidentally? It was a mistake. You know what I mean? I know it's your family member and everything like that. You don't want to hear it. Most people don't want to hear it if it's their family member. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's why I say they need to be taught how to use them. Because like I said, most kids, when they grab a gun, they're grabbing the trigger, and it's going to go off. They have no concept of that's not how you handle a firearm.
But do you think the answer is to actually teach gun control to kids, man?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because the reason why I say that is, of course we know culturally how it go, man. If I'm growing up in the Midwest or something like that, that might just be a part of my culture, my system. This is what we're taught from young up, hunting and the like, you know what I mean? But how does that fare well with the inner city kid? Like, cause I'm more or less on, J-Rob is more or less like, I would rather teach you the end result of pulling that trigger. I would take kids to the coroner's office. This is what this kid looked like before. This is what he looked like now with them bullets in him.
It's much more than just the gun part. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you got to teach them how to use a firearm, but you also have to teach them, like, don't be a dummy.
You mean like the responsibility of
you actually have to have some responsibility when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. I think that goes with the parenting. Mm. I mean, it's bigger than just the gun control or the gun safety. It's like, why do you feel like pulling this gun out at the party is the thing to do?
Right.
Not to mention, like growing up, older gentleman told me once a long time ago, like, and this is nothing that I glorify or, we trying to pass out here and say this is a beautiful thing. Older person told me a long time ago, like, like if you're not willing to feel the blood run down your arm from you stabbing somebody, then you really don't want to kill that person. And I guess his point was saying that it's like, people run around and do drive-bys and all the other stuff like that, just because they're slightly mad about something, you know what I mean? And I guess he was saying, like, if you don't really want to feel somebody blood and sweat and pain, in the course of killing them, then you really don't want to kill them.
I mean, when we talk about this generation, these little goofballs is running around playing tag with these pistols. So like they mentality is completely different.
Well, I think that's what the older gentleman was trying to say to me is like, it's easy to get in a car and get dismissive about just shooting a gun from across the street. And I guess he was just in so many ways. And again, this is just street knowledge that we grew up with people in the street. I'm not saying that I condone it. I'm not even saying that it's good to teach it to anybody or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I guess the point that you're making is that if you're not ready or if you're not that mad, I don't think you should kill nobody for no reason. This is my personal thing as of right now. I believe spiritually I'm trying to be better in life and I'm trying to say that, I don't want to kill nobody. But I guess what he's saying at that point is that if you're not that mad at somebody, why would you just go shoot up a block or something? Like, I guess that's the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah, that's a good point. My only thing is, I think when you actually teach people how to handle a firearm correctly, you won't have these so-called mistakes. The government allows you to go into the military at 18 and have a firearm, but you can't get a drink or buy cigarettes until you're 21. So what is that teaching the children?
And I always say that too, J. Rob, is that when these things happen, murder happens, however the case may turn out, it's always that defense of, well, their brains are not fully developed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so their brains are not fully developed at 18. So when that person kills somebody, or at 15 or 16, they kill somebody, they don't really know what they're doing because their brains aren't developed. But to your point, these are the same ones that they'll say, all right, well, go defend this country.
Absolutely.
With an underdeveloped brain, you know.
Not to mention, not only will they say to defend this country, you did the right crime. They'll go say, you go ahead and sit in the jail with the adults.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the undeveloped mind, you can go sit right in there with the adults. You got a murder charge, you can go sit in there with the adults. You know, we don't want to put you in there with these kids. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing.
And another thing, I think it's a big mistake in our communities not to teach our children gun safety, firearm safety. What actually happens if someone actually is in your home and the child is the first one to react? If they don't know how to use that, they're just creating more carnage. Right. They can accidentally shoot themselves, might shoot the parents because they don't know what they're doing.
Honestly speaking, I'm gonna tell you something that's deeper than that. I mean, I'm not a big fan about firearms no more like I used to be. I was a big person on firearms. I had about 2 or 3 in the house, everything like that. But I will say this is that I don't even think a lot of adults even know how to use a firearm, especially in our community. No. Like one thing I did do when I did own a firearm, I constantly went to the range. Right. You know what I mean? And I brought a lot of people to the range with me. And I could tell you this, we brought street guys with us to the range that didn't know how to shoot and stuff like that. So again, these are the same people that they never been in a situation. Well, I'm not saying they ain't never shot at nobody, but they, in a lot of cases, they never hit the mark. So they don't know what this stuff will do.
There's no control in the firefight. Nobody has control.
Honestly speaking, in most street fights, a lot of people end up shooting up in the air. You know what I mean? Just to say that they bust a gun.
What did Pops on Friday say? A gun don't make you a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it don't.
Yeah,
it don't.
It don't. And that's what it is, man. Is that you put this stuff in the child of hand of children, and you see what happens. So in this particular case, like, we don't know all the details of it. Maybe the kid was not his intention to shoot this young lady. When you look at the court footage of the actual trial, he did seem remorseful about it and all of that. So I don't know if they took all those things in consideration. I just thought it was an unusual sentencing for, that particular charge. But
quickly, just to go back to what we was talking about on the other stuff, is like, and this is what we all know, just growing up in the neighborhood, is most of the people that end up shooting people is cowards.
Yeah, they're scared.
They're usually cowards. They might have found a house. They might have found a gun in their parents' house, or got a gun from their brother or a friend, or whatever the case may be. In most of these situations, you thought you was going to run up on this tough guy and he was going to fold up. He might have not had to, still with the gun in your hand, he had no respect for you. And now you're standing around a bunch of people, you've confronted him, he still ain't got no respect for you. And then what happens?
I think it goes back to parenting. Like, a gun does not make you tough.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole point. I'm saying that's point.
When we grew up, like, I got beat up, not all the time, but I took a couple L's. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if I wanted to go back and fight you again, which normally I did, we're gonna rumble every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna be picked on. Like, these kids, they do a lot of weird stuff, man, where it's like, if they get picked on, they too much chumps to actually fight back. They think they're going to get a gun is going to make them tough. Like, that don't make you tough. Standing your ground as a man says something, it shows your character.
Right.
Not going to go get a gun and go shoot up a school.
Not to mention this culture in general, man. Not just standing up for yourself, but I mean, this is the culture that the third place trophy is just as good as the first place trophy. You know what I mean?
What world does that make sense in?
Yeah, but this is what it is. I seen something on YouTube where they got dodgeball with no ball now because they don't want to single out the kid that's not athletic enough to get out the way.
What's the point of
dodgeball with no ball now?
Yeah, what's the point of playing?
I'm telling you, YouTube.
That is a weird scene. I got to pull this up, man. I suggest everybody else do the same. What is this, like throwing imaginary balls at each other?
Yeah, throwing imaginary balls.
And the kids are just moving back and forth.
Yeah,
that is the dopiest thing I've heard like the last 2 hours.
What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah. One time, man, when my son was small, man, I remember them playing basketball and their team is blowing out another team. So I'm like excited and whatever the case may be. We up like, I think it was like 20, 30 points at halftime or something like that. So when it got to the halftime, they switched the score. So I'm looking at the scoreboard and I'm like, yo, what happened? It was like, oh, the scoreboard is 0-0 because we don't want to disrespect the other team. I'm like, what? We up 30.
You shouldn't play.
You shouldn't play.
You know what I mean? This builds character, man. Coming back from an L builds character.
But that's what it is, man. That's your generation of sore losers.
Right. So again, it comes with that whole thing. The sore loser, not being able to stand for yourself. Everybody gets a trophy. You know what I mean?
It's everybody fault but your own. Right.
That's what it is, man. Yeah.
No accountability for your own actions.
That's a whole fact. Yeah. So, we're going to transition on to this next topic.
Second place is the first loser, man. That's what they used to tell us.
Second place is the first loser. All right. So, speaking of which, we have the killer of allegedly of PNB Rock. They said that they had some suspects in custody. One being a 17-year-old boy and the other being a 32-year-old woman.
Sad.
And it was arrested in the connection of the murder of PNB Rock. The third suspect, whose name is Freddie Lee Trone, is the father of the 17-year-old suspect.
Straight sucker.
Yeah.
Wild business. So what happens is the father and son was allegedly in the restaurant when PNB arrived with his girlfriend. And it is alleged that the teen killed PNB and took his jewelry and some items from the girlfriend as well. And they fled in a getaway car, which was driven by the father. All alleged for the sake of this podcast. All alleged. And it was also, too, the 32-year-old woman named was Chantel Trone. And she was arrested with the 17-year-old and charged with an accessory to murder. So they don't know with the last name of Chantel and the guy Freddie Lee being Trone, if they related or not. They're trying to sort that out. But this is where we at right now. So what do y'all think about this, man? That their father was there, the kid pulls out the hammer.
It goes to this whole parenting thing. Now, we from the East Coast, so and we from a different generation, so gang culture is not our thing.
Right.
But like, my man, like that's your kid. Like, if you a street nigga, and the only thing that you can do is raise a street nigga, you failed as a father.
That's a whole fact.
Yeah. And again, it's all alleged, man, because as of right now, they're still, putting it all together. But who takes their kid on a heist? You know what I mean? What kind of father would say, yo, come and do this with me?
And not to mention, man, Freddie Lee is on the run.
Yeah, I think they got the son and the mom.
Alleged mom, we don't know. Oh,
yeah, they don't know. Well, again, allegedly that they're saying that this is, it's the parents that's in the case with them. I don't know what the mom situation is. The mom could,
if it's the mom, we don't know because if it's the mom. I mean, it sounds like a motherly thing to do to kind of aid and abet your murderous 17.
Yeah, she might have hit her son or something like that.
If it is the mom, we don't know, but.
It's so crazy.
If you ask me, it sounds like a motherly movie.
Like, all right, let's just say that y'all, that this is what y'all do as a family. This is how the family get their money. Y'all parenting wasn't good enough to be like, yo, we just gonna take it.
Don't kill them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We just gonna take it. Yeah, again, you failed. You failed as parents. Like, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah. Why take his life? You got the jury. You know, I don't know anything about this kid, you know, PNB Rock. You know, I don't know anything about his music or anything like that. Because again, it's not our generation. I don't even, you know, I don't listen to secular music like that no more, you know. But he looks so frail. It doesn't look like you had to go that route with him. You know what I mean? And I don't know that, you know, I didn't see the footage or anything like that of them being in the restaurant. I don't know if he tried to buck off.
I don't even know if it was released yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but again, like you said, you got two people on him, and he's with his girl.
His pregnant girl.
What was he going to do?
Yeah, come on, man.
What was he going to do?
Well, at least the 17-year-old had the horse sense not to shoot the pregnant woman. You know what I mean? At least. Still not making it right, but... You know.
Yes, it's all bad either way. It's all bad either way, man. I mean, pretty much. I'm not saying that he, you know, good thing he didn't shoot her, but to be honest with you, by killing him, they killed their future.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
He's the money winner. He's the breadwinner. You know what I mean? So they pretty much killed their future, man.
So compare and contrast to this one. All right. Other case, the kid gets off. He shot the girl. He was the same age, right? Okay. He got what he got. A couple of weeks in jail or whatever. This kid here, Rob, killed somebody. Still 17 years old.
It's about intent.
It's about intent, man. About really what happened.
But just to kind of advocate here for a second, what if he says, "I pulled out the gun, but it was not my intention to shoot him. It went off."
It was in the commission of a felony. That's the law.
He came in for
you was committing a robbery.
It ain't like you were just accidentally sitting in a restaurant playing around with a gun and the gun went off. You know what I mean?
Even then, that sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, again, like we said in regards to the other situation, man. You know what I mean? We street kids, so you know, a gun just going off just don't make sense to us. Because I guess. Even though we never, you know, well, I won't say we never shot a gun, but even as children, we've seen guns get shot, stuff like that. So we, you know, like you said, we still need, like kids still need training, you know, or still need to know what a firearm actually does.
Yeah,
but
it shouldn't be a spooky thing. Like, where I think in our communities, guns and firearms is so like, what's the word I want to use? It's like don't touch those. It's a scary thing. Like, nah, like this is a firearm. This is what it do. This is how you use it, and you know, this is how you make sure that it don't go off in your hand when you pull it out.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that as children, even dealing with uncles and cousins and family members and friends with firearms, I never forget. Like they was like, "Yo, don't point that at me."
Yeah.
Don't play with me like that. You know what I mean? I've even seen people get slapped, you know what I mean, just for playing around like that. You know what I mean? So again, I don't know if this generation is getting the same thing. Obviously not. You know what I mean? Not to say they ain't, because during our generation, people got accidentally shot too. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man.
I think it all boils back to like, you know, seeing the end results of it, man. You know, from young. If these kids saw the end results of these people getting shot and things of that nature, you might not catch everybody, but you may change some minds, man.
I think as far as the kids, it's these video games. They running around playing that Call of Duty. That's where the term "op" comes from Call of Duty.
Right.
Yeah.
And they running around and they think it's a game. Like, nah. It's not a game.
It's they're what you call desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, again, they think they're gonna come back. You're gonna get another round.
Another life. Yeah. No, ain't no quarter going in the slot. You're not coming back.
Not coming back, man.
Yeah, that's a shame though. But listen, on a more lighter note, man, we gonna get ready to end this off on a lighter note. So y'all put me on. He's laughing before I even said it. Y'all put me on to this whole Ray Allen prank, and I guess Ray wasn't having it, as he said, the fight game. Eddie Murphy put it the fight game. So, Ray was in Target, and I guess Ray Allen, yeah, was former NBA player and all that. He was in the Target, I guess, doing some shopping. Man, these kids seen him, and they trying to do what kids do, the prank business, getting some hits and likes and views, man. So they doing this little fart thing there, and he basically stating to him, "Yo, I ain't playing that game."
Yo, let me tell you something, man. This is something that people don't play around with, man. The fart game, I guess you could play it with your buddies, man. But I've actually seen the fart game get played with the wrong people, man. People got hurt, man. Blocks have gone to war over fart game, man. Like, yo, don't play that game with me. We ain't cool. You know what I mean?
So Ray checked him hard body on this.
The fart game could get you shot, man.
Yo, you know what though? I know you're gonna run a video, but I think it's even crazier how the one kid was like, he's still trying to talk halfway slick.
Yeah. You don't understand, man.
Yeah, like, nah, Doc, you in the wrong. Stop.
Isn't it wonderful how this all goes back to the original two topics?
Yeah,
this is this generation, man.
Yeah.
You don't know when enough is enough, man.
Yeah, it's a respect factor. And yo, like, everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't play with adults, man. You don't play with adults.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a hard fact.
Everything ain't for everybody, man. That's the line of the day, man.
You know what I mean? I know we all sounded like that. We got to that point in our life where we the back in my day guys. We sit there back in my day. This and go down.
Real.
But it's for real though, because
everybody don't want no camera in their face.
Nobody don't need that, man.
Plus, before, like, if you ever seen a older cat punching young boy in the face in the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, you remember that, like, yo, you know what? Yeah, he should have been messing with old head. Like, nah, he told him go ahead.
Yeah, but like I said, that's the generation. I think we the last generation when I wouldn't even say, like, we had our fathers and we had our uncles and they had some sort of love for us, but the neighborhood old head that was on the street, that was into, whatever he was into. When he told you to stop playing, stop playing.
Stop playing. That's it.
He would slap the taste out of your mouth or something like that. You know what I mean?
And tell your uncle why.
Yeah.
Or tell your pop why. Like, yo, boy was wild and I had to,
Or even might tell you, go get your uncle or your father.
Yeah, depending on
the real man.
Yeah.
I want to fight the person that raised you and schooled you.
That's if you didn't like.
You don't know enough.
That's if you ain't like your family, you know what I mean? Go get your family.
Yeah, but if your family was thorough, they'd be like, yo, he was out of pocket. I had to pop him one time. Yeah.
Get him back in order.
All right, so listen, I'm gonna run this, but of course, because it's the audio version, y'all not gonna see it. So I'll leave
right.
I'll leave a description in there for the viewers, all right? For the listeners, excuse me. All right, so here we go.
All way today. Come on. My bad.
I know you hear me. Keep it moving.
All right.
And you still recording?
No, he's taking 30 pictures per second.
I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, it's okay.
What? Come on.
All right.
Talk to him.
He's deaf.
Do some sign language or something.
Bro, I didn't even know it was Ray Allen until you guys told me. I feel bad because, like, he thinks the reason, like, we're doing it is because he was Ray Allen, but I didn't even know he was Ray Allen.
Yeah, he don't even get it.
He's taking 30 pictures per second. There, you deserve to be smacked in the mouth.
Yeah, the smart response.
You're disrespecting why I'm telling you not to do this, man. You know what I mean?
And I'm giving you a pass. Cool out.
From a kid, man, it brings out something special in me, man.
Ray was about to start talking with the heads. Like, I'm telling you right now, it's the last time I'm trying to tell you, you got to stop this.
Like, I just got pumped with 1,000 cc's of gamma rays when the kid talks smart. About to Hulk out and slap the crap out.
Hey, yo, listen, man. These YouTubers and prankers, man. I'm telling you, somebody gonna get hurt. There's a Spanish kid on YouTube, man, and I think he's Mexican or something like that. He's in California, and let me tell you something. I'm starting to look at California, the state, a whole lot different. You pull this kid up, man, and I always looked at, because I had some California buddies in the military. They wasn't wrapped too tight, man, and them California dudes is stay pulling out guns in these pranks. And they like 1 second off of like just letting it go. And the kid is like, yo, it's a prank. It's a prank. I'm like, at this one particular kid, he does it all so often. He almost looks like a gang member. He's walking up to like really tough individuals and he's saying certain things.
Cleaned it up. Lovely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he the unscrupulous kind. Yeah. He's asking people like, where you from? You know, in California, that's like just saying like, yo, you know, what's your gang set or whatever. Yeah. And the guns, I've watched at least several of his pranks, man, and the guns have come out in California like it's nothing, man. I seen dudes chase him with a knife, all kinds of stuff, man. I'm like, yo, you're gonna die.
Remember the one that you showed me, man, where is the Mexican kid when the boy that was doing the prank doing some goofy jump. The Mexican kid didn't say nothing.
Yeah,
he just gripped up and just looked at him. He had his shades on and everything. Say nothing. Yeah. It looked like the Wild West. Like everything just stood still for a minute.
I think the bigger problem is that everybody is trying to go viral. Like, no, like relax.
You're gonna go viral, all right.
Live your life, do what you do, whatever that may be. But all this trying to be, everybody want to be famous. Everybody think they're gonna do something on the internet and they're gonna become famous and make a bunch of money. Like, cool out.
Yeah, man. Listen. Stop playing around in pranks in California, man. Because I'm telling you, you know what's funny?
Everywhere. Stop playing them pranks everywhere. Don't get yourself hurt.
But you know what?
Chicago ain't no joke either with them prank joints.
But you know what I think is everywhere you can get it. But you know what I think is different? I think here on the East Coast, pretty much you got I'm not saying that you're right, you know, every time, but you just kind of look at people and you be like, that's not the one to mess with. In California, they're talking to the dude with the Dr. Zeus hat, a cat in the hat, whatever, and he reaching. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He got a propeller on his hat, or like, hey, homie, you know, be all laughing, whatever, like that. Dude say, hey, cuz, where you from? Next thing you know, he pulling out a gun and he got on a propeller hat. You know, a chicken on his hat or a chicken on his shirt. And it's going from 0 to 60. You be like, where in the world did this?
My favorite joint is when the one where the kid just walk up there, random people in Cali, be like, yo, you want to catch this fade? And they be like, yo, dudes was like coming off of work. Standing there with their little lunchbox, construction gear on.
He had boxing gloves too. He had boxing gloves.
Oh yeah. They start taking their joints off.
Yo,
it's crazy.
I think I seen I think the boy name is Tyrone. He be running around.
Oh yeah, the one in Philly.
Yeah, I think somebody, I don't know if it was part of the skit, but I think somebody shot him.
Oh, did he?
Did y'all see that?
I'm not laughing. I didn't see it. I'm not laughing at the fact that he got shot. If he did get shot.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember he
gotta hit you with the meth real quick. Is he dead?
Is he dead? I don't know. I saw it. I was like, yo, they play too much. And I was like, wait a minute. I think they actually did hit him.
Wow. Yo, but you know what? Yeah, he was playing in the wrong city. He was playing in the wrong city with that one. But the thing about him though is I remember he was out like maybe like years ago, and then he had a good run. I ain't never seen him again. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he did.
That might have been the last video. Who knew?
Everybody stop playing with people, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Man. Keep dipping your toe in that piranha tank, man. You know what I mean?
They bound to get bit.
This like the one. You ever see the ones where the guys leave the packages on the bus and whatnot? They got the turbans on and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's too much, man. Like everybody always doing this wild stuff, trying to be famous off a prank. Like, yeah, okay, comedians have made it, but they actually have some talent. Like, cool out. Anything that could possibly get you hurt, is it really worth it?
Yeah, running up on people, asking them, you know, different things, man. It's not in your best interest. Especially, it's the crazy part about is these white guys going to the hood doing this.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Death wish.
Are they cops? Are they the feds trying to set somebody up?
I don't. But I mean, they pretty much kids and pranks in most cases. But you know, I'm like, it's sad. Well, I won't say it's sad because I don't want nobody to get shot. But I doubt very seriously any black children can get away with this thing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
In the neighborhood, they're gonna pop you first.
I seen this one kid.
They might be hesitant just because they're white.
I think I don't know if he's an Indian kid, Middle Eastern kid, something. He's doing pranks out in Chicago, and the dude was in the hood, during, I guess, the Pride Week or whatever they're doing. He's in the hood giving people rainbow flags, telling them, y'all might as well come out. So he's running up on hood cats and giving them rainbow flags and said, you know, here you go, brother. You might as well just come out the closet.
Yeah, man.
And that went left. Like, it was bums. When I tell you, bums was fighting this dude.
Crazy.
Like, yo, he jumped in the car because what happens is he gave one to one dude and the dude wasn't playing. He must have pulled a hammer out, man. So the kid jumped in the car and like sped off. And he was like, yo, he's about to shoot me. You know what I mean?
I seen the one where the kid is in Walmart and he walked up to this guy's girl and was like, yo, can you mind if I give her my phone number? Dude pulled out he was like, yo, black guy, man, big dude. Showed him the hammer, like, yo, I don't play like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't play like that, man. Get away from me, man. He was like,
is it worth your life for a laugh?
Yeah, get away from me. Get away from me quick.
Right.
He just backed out on him right in the Walmart, man. And here's the point. Even if now you've done this prank and you get away with it, whatever the case may be, and now the dude consents to allow you to do this, who's to say his firearm is legal or not?
Right.
You done put him in the jam. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
Or he might be wanted for another crime with that same firearm. You never know, man.
And that's another thing. You running around putting people on camera. They might got warrants.
They might got warrants.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, people playing too much. Like, stop. Everything ain't for everybody. Like, nobody stop trying to act like you can become famous over this prank. Stop putting people on camera. Just cool out. They be doing too much.
Save may be your own.
Yeah, and everybody around you.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap up. The Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms that you stream your podcast on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes. Please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. So far, so good, guys. We're doing the numbers.
Subscribe's getting up.
Yeah, let's get the subscribers up some more. Also, if you'd like to get in contact with the Only One Mic podcast, you can reach us via Instagram and Twitter at the Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at the Only One Mic podcast, and also you can email us at the Only One Mic 00 at gmail.com. There you can leave your comments. And once again, we thank you for your time and encourage you to speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please keep
Hold on.
What?
Yo, subscribe to don't ever get locked up again, man. Won't get no commissary from me.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe, y'all. So until next time, please keep in mind that we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.